Hello, everybody. My name is Gary Fowler, and it is great to be here one more time for GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And I'm your host, Gary Fowler. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been involved in 17 startups and 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company that I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. Love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. Love the metaverse and NFTs. And today we're going to talk with my good friend Christian about NFTs, trading platforms, his company, One Big Wave, the kind of things that he's involved in, and how in the world from Munich, Germany, do you get involved in NFTs? How do you go from banking to where he is today? How do you go through consulting, advising, etc.? What's happening in the German market? What's the German market looking for? How to get some investment, etc. So with that, I would like to introduce my friend Christian.
Gary. Hey,
Hey,
Gary.
how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Good, good. It's great to see you again. We've been on a few shows together, panels, etc. It's good to see you. So, how's the weather in Munich?
It's still cold. It was icy in between. Like last days, it was really cold, really stormy, and I guess you have a bit of a different weather down in California, right?
Well, right now I'm in my house in Palm Beach, at my house in Palm Beach, and it's way different down here because tonight I'm going to go bike riding.
Nice. So you see me wearing a sweater. So
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
is how it is right here.
And I just put my shirt on. So,
That's
you know,
that's the difference.
we so tell me a little bit about it. So when you decided to do this, the one thing I hear time and time again about the German market investment. I mean, I hear complaints that they're not getting the valuations and people take too long to make decisions. Is that true?
Well, we start to get some unicorns. We
Mhm.
developed some unicorns out of Munich, which we're super proud of course. And some are in Berlin. There's not much in between, to be honest, geographically, and we're not getting the valuations as you just said. It's really funny if you take some very famous examples of Austrians and Germans going to Dubai, going to Singapore. It's actually pretty easy for them to gain those valuations, to be a unicorn after 2, 3, 4 years. Um, I would say if those people would have stayed in Austria, Germany, those valuations wouldn't be there. It might still be a prerequisite that people think like Germany is like made in Germany. It's more like a nation and a auto country. It's more engineering, and it's not so much the internet business, media, the new businesses like NFT and so on. So that might be a prerequisite, and which is still kept by some people on
I
that
mean, but
community.
the thing is, you got Porsche, you've got Mercedes, you got Audi, you got Volkswagen. Hello.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. They're,
unbelievable,
they're
right?
still they're still doing good. Well, maybe not in comparison with Tesla, but they're still doing
Yeah,
good.
Christian, I remember, I'm serious, right at the beginning of Tesla, he had, so, Elon Musk was not the founder of Tesla. He was like an investor in Tesla. And there was another guy, I forget the gentleman's name that was one of the founders, but I remember going past one of the first Tesla stores, and they had the Roadster out there. And I looked at it, and it was a Lotus. You know what I mean? It was like a
It
lease
was. It
Lotus.
was.
And I looked at it and I said, this thing looks familiar because I just looked at the car magazines and I had read that car has a Toyota engine. And I'm looking at this, how can this be electric car? Just, I read Road and Track, it's got a Toyota V6 or six-cylinder engine in it. And lo and behold, here it is electrified and one of the first cars. And it was incredible, you know. And, the one thing about Musk is that, and I'm sure you'll agree, is that he had an idea and he made it come true. And, whether it's solar, whether it's the Boring Company, whether it's space, it's unbelievable. He does it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the point, and it makes pretty clear what sort of the difference is between an all American mindset and maybe a German mindset. Um, of course, it's a benchmark person, Elon Musk, and he's polarizing. But on the other hand, he's doing stuff. I mean, he's just getting shit done, and like GSD,
I,
right?
I love that, Christian. You know where we're going with that thing. I love
True,
it.
true, true. And if you make a long story short, and you try to compare him to German mindset, people would think everything over and over again. It's the same in Switzerland. It's sort of the same in Austria. It kind of like is our mindset of these German, Austrian, Switzerland persons. Maybe not even in the Nordics. Nordics are even quicker in decision making, but it's where's the risk? Where could be something
Yeah,
that
but
where we
so is it
cannot
about the risk, Christian? Is it the reason they don't make this? And you got 80 million people, right, in Germany, approximately. Is it they don't want to take the risk? They're so conservative they don't want to take a risk with it, or why?
I think it's really a heritage mindset. It's a heritage mindset. I mean, if you go back way in time, and you take, for example, like the Dutch, and they had so many colonies, and they were making trades and negotiations with everybody from India, from all the Asian countries. You had to go there, you had to do stuff, you had to open maybe a branch, whatever. Um, Germany had colonies as well, but not to really make trade action like the Dutch did. So it was much more like, maybe you're not that open to negotiate, to talk to different people, to get different opinions, if you are not if you don't have a coast. So Germany
Yeah.
does well. Germany has a coast, but it's pretty small.
Mhm.
And if you take like all the countries like from the Nordics, but also or some countries from the Nordics, but also the Dutch, they do have a coast. They had to build ships. They had to make trade with other countries because they didn't have neighbors. The neighbor was the ocean basically,
Mhm.
and maybe it comes from that. It stems from that. I'm not pretty sure where it comes from, but it's if you talk to somebody in Germany and you talk to people about NFTs, as an example, if you
Mhm.
even talk about blockchain, which is sort of mainstream actually now within the internet industry, people still ask like, what is this blockchain thing? How does it work? If you talk to people from the Nordics, or from the States, from Dubai, from Singapore, there is no explanation necessary. In Germany, people go like, oh, is this really true? Maybe it's a scam. Well, maybe
Oh, that's
NFTs.
what they think. So is that one of the mentalities they question emerging technologies?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. If
Hmm.
that works after quite some time, and there are good examples, I would not say Germany are pioneers. Well, it's actually not true what I say, because like the German car manufacturers like invented ABS for
Yeah,
car
exactly.
braking and
I
so on.
mean, look at SAP, right?
Yeah, they were like pioneers. They were pioneers in building cars 100+ years ago. But if you then take certain technology that 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 would start to be invented these days, right now, people are super cautious. Maybe I don't understand it well enough. Maybe somebody's quicker. Maybe somebody else has more money. So they people see the obstacles more than the chances and the opportunities.
They look for the. Huh, that's interesting. Very interesting. So, how do you get over that when they're going out with NFTs? How do you coax in German investors? Can you do that or not?
To be honest, it's very difficult. So it is that difficult that I don't focus on German partners, on German investors. Of course, you talk to people, and then somebody says, "Well, I'm into that business as well," which you wouldn't even know, and then you do negotiate, you do talks, and also you partner with those people. Very rarely from Germany, even more rare from Switzerland. I mean, they have old money, they have like fiat money, and they're well known for that. So why cope with some special stuff?
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
you go to Dubai and you talk to people about NFTs, well, and I'm not talking about those people that are into NFTs for 2 or 3 years already, but people who are just interested, they would at least know that much that they could discuss with you. In Germany, they don't. And this
Interesting.
is even and a very good example actually is the press about Tesla. So you have these car manufacturers in Germany. They have these old school motors in them, and there's like a new breed that comes from the valley. Well, and it's basically only one person who does this entire Tesla factory, which of course is not true. This Elon Musk person, and then he comes up with EVs, and then instead of questioning, discussing, trying to learn from that person, maybe even emphasize that person, but also maybe like lean back and like let this person tell you how the market runs. You mainly write him down, and you basically take him down, try to take him down, because that all cannot be true. And then they focus on details that you have in other cars as well, like from production quality. Um, but they don't tell you in Germany in the mainstream media. They don't tell you how successful Tesla is, how successful the Tesla stock is.
Yeah.
Nobody was even thinking, not even NASA was even thinking about like reusing rockets. Germans didn't. Basically, Germans invented the rocket from a like well,
Yeah. Werner von Braun, right?
from a very negative sense, basically, but they invented those rockets that we
Yeah.
build on right now. Well, people did actually not believe very first that rockets could be reused. They thought it would all be CGI.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what I mean. There's no openness to this could be true. Let's
I
try it
mean,
out
it's unbelievable seeing those rockets come down and land, and it's like amazing.
simultaneously, like two, three, simultaneously
Unbelievable.
landing.
I mean, it's like you're like changing the world. I saw that it was a launch. It was a Falcon a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
and there was a cruise ship that was too close, so they had to board it. I saw it because it went right over my place in Florida. So I saw where the booster came off, and I saw the other part of it going out. Right. So it was like unbelievable, actually. And I think that, but that's thinking differently, isn't it? That's thinking out of the box. And, you got to like, if you want to really create and innovate, you got to think out of the box and challenge what the norm is. Because if you
yeah,
don't, nobody who's going to do it.
absolutely. And well, not even Elon Musk, but SpaceX did it. They landed a rocket that was in use. So everybody would be lucky in Germany. Like we did it perfect. So let's try to sell this. Elon Musk like takes it even further. Let's land two simultaneously. Now let's land three simultaneously. And it's hard to say, really hard to say. But in Germany, everybody was like, "Yeah, that was clear that they would land and then explode. That was nature. That was totally clear that would happen." But trying, learn from your failures, learn fast. This is
But
not what
that's what it
this
is
is what
doing a
we're known
startup,
for.
isn't it? Pivoting all the time and iterating.
Yeah, that's the point. And even if you remember those first Falcons that were filmed like they were tilting in flight and then landing, uh, this was a total new experience. This was no Saturday night prime time TV show, but it was basically YouTube prime time
Mhm.
changing the world show. And it was a show. I mean, it was all done for show, of course, but
Mhm.
it's so well done. And he will fly to Mars. I'm absolutely sure. And
Well, I
people
mean,
here say, why would you build a rocket and fly to Mars? Why not?
well, the other thing is, Christian, if we keep treating our world the way we do and polluting it the way we do and overpopulated the way it's coming by from 8.1 billion to 13 billion by the end of the century, we have to double the food supply by 2050 to feed everybody. We're not going to have we're going to poison the planet. We're going to need another place to live. It was interesting. I had an extremely high net worth individual. I had this direct conversation with him. And I said, yeah, we'll have to go to another planet so we can pollute that too. That's like the mentality may not change, and you're on Mars and you got dumps and everything else on Mars. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
True. And it's at some point, I'm pretty sure we're gonna land on the moon again, and then find something there that we could need, and then well, dig big holes into the
Yeah,
moon.
start mining the moon.
Maybe we find interesting things on the dark side. I don't know, but
Well,
but
there's some speculation about that, isn't there?
yeah, true, true. But the funny thing is, people go like, yeah, if you find something precious on the moon, let's take the value and race down to Earth. Well, maybe that has an implication. If we do anything on the moon, maybe it has an implication to the Earth, and people are very
Yeah,
blind to that.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
if you have kids, you're rethinking your thoughts and on your opinions time and time again, to like, is this sustainable, can we do this, and we're leaving this planet behind like a, well, like a trash can basically.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, I just, I had somebody on my show a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the planet. And one of the things he said is that the amount of garbage that floats in the ocean is the size of the state of Rhode Island. And a lot of it's these fishing nets, but it's captured plastic and everything else. So it's floating and it's absorbing sunlight because of a lot of it's dark, right? Garbage and all this stuff absorbing sunlight. And all of a sudden, by doing that, it's heating the ocean up because it's such a mass amount. It's heating it up. And, by the end of this century, with temperatures going up 7 degrees, nothing good is going to happen. We need to think
Absolutely.
about, and there's one thing about going to another planet, but Mars, there's nothing there. It's not like you're going to go to Disney. It's not like terraforming Mars. Why don't we just take care of what we got and try to fix what we have so we can extend our lifetime here? Of course, I had another astronaut friend of mine tell me there's 6 billion Earth-like planets in the Milky Way galaxy, just the Milky Way. So what that means, close enough to a star that they actually can sustain life. But then he said, Gary, you know what? He said, you know how many galaxies in the universe? And I said, how many? He said, 200 trillion estimated galaxies in the universe. And I said, 200 trillion? He said, these are the latest figures. If it's a million, it's one thing, but so we've got so much out there. It's going to be interesting. He said to me, when you look at the planet Earth, Christian, and you're out there flying over top of the planet Earth, and you look down, you understand how small we really are in comparison to everything else.
Yeah. And the thing is basically we're taxing everything. Like every country is taxing the weirdest things, and not for good sometimes. Even it's sometimes just ridiculous what they do. Paying taxes is actually very social, so I'm not anti-tax. But if we come back to the topic of NFTs, there's so much money made, and of course they're trying to, well, build a good reputation with charging you gas fees, so everything will be more sustainable, which is, well, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But if you would implement a sustainability tax, an environmental tax, where you just, from every transaction within NFT, because it's such a large market and it will grow and grow bigger, and that contains the metaverse and everything that comes with it over the next years.
Mhm.
um, it's nice that we have these new ecosystems, worlds, call them what you like, but while we are mining, while we are transacting, um, there is so much energy consumed that we actually would have to have some sort of environmental tax, or, and I'm not green at all, but some sort of environmental tax, or
Yeah.
keep the planet clean tax, whatever you call it, to just um, make use of this large amount of money that's used. And not only talking about NFTs, I'm also talking about the stock market, because that would be such an easy bet, because people get used to taxes, and you would actually have you would have to have some sort of central organization that just keeps it takes care
Hey,
of
Christian, I
everything.
was just thinking to myself, they get used to taxes, but during the beginning of the Revolutionary War, they didn't like it too much when they taxed their tea too much.
True, true.
So at
but
what point, Christian, at what point do the taxes, right? If you start the taxes, does it get to the top of people say enough is enough? I'm not paying 75% tax, which happens some places, right? On something when I'm an entrepreneur taking the risk. You're not giving me money when I lose money. You're only taxing it when I make money. So you're
yeah.
making it so it's not so interesting, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, in this time, like when we're talking about NFT metaverse right now, it's mostly transaction of private persons, mostly, and those private persons are living on that very planet. So why not save this planet, and why not help save this planet with a transaction? And not talking about
Maybe
maybe a
the quickest
transaction
thing is
of
that you can make it not required, but optional. You can pay the tax and pay
yeah.
this donation, help make the world a better place. I'm sure there are a lot of people would do it too because people are concerned. I hear about it every day. It's amazing. You listen and you hear it all. I mean, more and more and more as we start to grow. And the other thing is, with all these challenges, these wars, potential wars, et cetera, around the world, we need to figure out how to I remember this one piece that said, Mother Teresa said, it's not about stopping war, it's about pro peace. It's about looking at the similarities in different cultures and not the differences. Because if you look at the differences, we're all different, right? We're different within a certain street. If you're in London on a certain area of London, if you don't have the right accent, you're different. If you're here in the States, you're in the right state, you're different. So we got to figure out how to get along and make this world a better place. And it's incumbent about each and every one of us. So I agree, I like the idea of taxes. But let's focus on, tell me what's going on with NFTs in Germany right now.
Um, to be honest, and in very brief, not much. It's people are reading about it. I mean, you read it everywhere. If you're a bit focused out of mainstream media, when it comes to internet media journalism, you read about NFTs. Most people do because they're super interested, but there's no expertise. So if you compare that to a country like Dubai, where everything is quicker, every people are more flexible, they're talking more frequent about their businesses. Like, what do you do? Can we partner? Do we find similarities?
Are they open to Dubai from your perspective?
Are they open
Yeah.
to NFTs?
New deals and working together. Are they, is it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you want to find a meetup in Germany about NFTs, you will find one. If you want to find one in Dubai, you will find one. But you have like gazillions of meetups of conferences about blockchain, about crypto in Dubai. Here, it's still the old world. Like, make some tech conferences. Hopefully, people can join after COVID. And coming back to your question, what's happening in Germany with NFTs? Um, nothing heavy to mention. Like, if you take Bored Apes, everybody knows those because they look funny and it's the benchmark story. CryptoPunks, sort of the same. And if you ask people then, like, what other collections are there? How could you utilize NFTs or blockchain within NFT? Uh, people are people just stay quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and
Got it.
that's hard to see, to be honest. Not because you have to jump on every trend. Maybe NFTs are a trend for the next 2 3 years. Maybe they are here to stay, but um, people are like, as an excuse, they tell you they don't have to jump on every trend. Well,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you want to make money and not just buy one stock of one company, because that won't make you rich, then you maybe want to jump into NFTs because it's pretty interesting. A friend of mine is a photographer and an artist, so to say, and he issued his first NFT. So I asked him in Germany. So I asked him, like, how come you got used to that topic at least? How come you were able to find the story, how to proceed, how to mine, and so on? You know the deal. And and he said, I was so interested in it, and then I was talking to so many friends from the States. I was like, okay, why not just two friends in Germany who could tell you how to proceed and how to do it with NFTs? He said the same. There's nobody you can talk about it and who could give you
Well, that's
advice.
it. You got to build the ecosystem that's supportive. And the other thing, I don't know what it's like in Germany, but some places, when I lived in Russia, for instance, if you failed, it was a bad thing. If you failed one time, people were like really like didn't want to deal with you. Oh, you're a failure and all that. Instead of in Silicon Valley, people are supportive. Oh, you're trying another company. That's great. You must have learned a lot by failing. Of course, you learn a lot from failing. You learn how you don't want to do it again. That's for sure. you know.
That's absolutely true. In Germany, they ask you, okay, you failed. What's the consequences for you? instead of asking like in the valley, like in Dubai, okay, what's next?
What's your next project? Yeah, 'cause I'm interested. You must have learned a lot. Hey, we're coming up to the top of the hour, so want to talk about the closing thoughts and the market. What's happening in Germany? What do you think is going to happen over the next year with NFTs there? And also, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, I think NFTs are going. I mean, right now we're kind of like experimental
Uh-huh.
still. Still, given the market volume, we're still experimental. But NFTs will be. Well, just talk about avatars, and there's so many examples. Just talk about think about avatars in the metaverse. NFTs will be huge, and most people actually don't realize that you can bind certain values or prerequisites to NFTs through blockchain technology that will evolve over time. Is Ethereum the only blockchain that you will need for NFTs? Are there others coming up? Yes, there will. So I think real estate within metaverse, well, it already started, of course, but it will be big. I mean, there's big money in real world real estate, so it will be in virtual world,
Yeah,
as in
I
real
agree.
examples in the past. And this is, by the way, how we from One Big Wave are consulting large companies like real estate companies, real estate project companies, but also brand companies about NFT, but also about like how to set up a company, how to go to market. Is it still the time to go to market with that certain product, or would you have to evolve the product first? So this is what we do from One Big Wave, and you can get hold of me by emailing me on christian@onebigwave.com, and you can find us obviously on onebigwave.com.
No, it's great. Christian, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. So
Thanks
I
so
really,
much.
really enjoy it. And to my audience out there, thank you for tuning in for one more time for GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. Stay tuned for another exciting edition this Thursday, and I'll be back again. Bye bye, and see you later, everybody. Thank you.
Stay safe,
Thanks,
take care.
Christian.